Go ahead, T.
Hey, welcome back to the podcast for people whose moms died by people whose moms died. It's called No Mama, No Manual. I am Teeahnah.
I am Brittany.
That is Brittany, and I am Teeahnah. And today we are talking about things that our parents did, specifically our mamas that just up and died that we don't agree with. I'll start. I don't agree with the fact that she died.
I think the episode's over. I think that's the main.
And thank you so much for watching.
Because why would she do that?
No, okay, so last time we talked about stuff that like we understand.
Yeah.
But this time it's just like, no, that was a no.
I don't even think the things that I disagree with had anything to do with me. I think, my mom didn't teach me
What?
how to have boundaries.
Say that. Mine didn't either.
And I don't fault her because I don't think she had the best boundaries, right?
Correct.
And so it was always just work as hard as you can, right? Which I can appreciate,
Yep.
right? Never quit, certain things like that like just inherently I didn't agree with. Like in college, I quit the softball team.
Yeah.
It didn't align with my goals. How does this help me be a doctor? I hate this. I'm miserable. It's petty. These people don't care about me. I had some health things going on. Like, wasn't nobody checking on me. Wasn't nobody. No, I'm not doing this. I quit.
Okay.
People didn't agree. I ain't care. And I think that was like, just very early on, like my boundaries, me being okay with what it is that I want to do and how it works for me and how it aligns. Sometimes me and her didn't always agree with that or agree on that.
That's real. I think on the boundaries, if overextending yourself for people who wouldn't do the same for you. I feel like I watch my mom do that a lot.
Yeah.
And I ain't like that shit at all. Y'all not finna be taking advantage of my girl.
Yeah.
I do get how, pouring into your village is kind of like our responsibilities as good members of someone's village, but
Yeah.
reciprocity is also a thing.
Yeah. Super important.
So yeah, I ain't agree with that.
Yeah.
I ain't agree with that at all.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. I feel like my mom's heart was huge to her detriment. Like, and I won't, because it's not my story to tell. And unfortunately, she died. So, like, I can only say so much about it. But there was one situation in particular where somebody had just treated her so awful, like, for an extended amount of time. I mean, awful. It was awful. It was awful to me. It was awful to her. And eventually, that individual got sick and was on their deathbed. And my mother took such good care of that human. And while I look back at it, and it's admirable, right? Baby.
Could be you.
And I stand on it. Like, baby, don't. You should have thought about that. You should have thought about that shit when you was acting a fool. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I ever saw my mom. I certainly saw her, like, fall out with people. Not fall out, but, like, just change her relationship dynamics with people. I never saw my mama give an earned. Fuck you.
I don't think I did either.
And I personally enjoy them. Cause baby,
That's real.
grace is so important, right?
It is.
But so is, this is exactly where you have me fucked up at, right? Bye. I'm gonna leave you right there.
Yeah.
And be well, be happy, not gonna wish you no ill, not gonna wish you no wrong. You don't have to be spiteful, right? But I don't think my mom had that balance. She was just always the bigger person.
Yeah, mine was.
And I would imagine, I can't ask her, that's exhausting. Like, that had to be exhausting.
For sure. I saw that job. I thought people she called friends. She called them that. Was they?
Yeah.
Were you a friend to my mom? Ask yourself.
I'm sorry. I wasn't prepared for you to get in the camera like that, baby. What? But ask yourself, were you?
Ask yourself, were you? I disagree with the fact that my mama opted not to date for so long. And I get it. Because people are fucking crazy, right? And you hear like wild stories, especially now, wild stories like the one lady that found a camera in the shower where her like daughter took showers at or whatever. I can't imagine the way a man would be dead, unalived, wholly unalived, if he ever tried something crazy like that with me. Not just by my mother, my uncles, my godparents, my daddy. We're not get done for real. But I hate the fact that like she just didn't get to experience love in the way that she wanted to. And I feel like she did it because she felt like she was protecting me. Which is cool. Thank you. Love you. You the bestest for that. But everybody deserves partnership. Like, we not meant to go through life alone, especially not in that regard. And I feel like because she opted to not have those experiences, some opportunities for her to teach and share got missed too. And that makes me sad for both of us a little bit. But I ain't like that. Like, because eventually, when I turned, 17, 18, I got the fuck out of there. And was gone for a good long time.
She didn't have.
And now you are 50, trying to figure it out again.
Yeah.
And I ain't like that for her. Don't do that. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Disagree.
Yeah.
Disagree. Wholeheartedly disagree.
Yeah. That's real.
Yeah, like, you didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
But I think, again, she just did what she thought was best at the time.
Yeah.
Because she didn't know. How would you know?
I didn't agree with the way my mama handled sex, with me growing up. Like, sex talks.
I don't either.
Baby, first of all, let me tell you, don't do it.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Because you'll get pregnant and die. Like, it was like Mean Girls. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, baby, I have questions. And I just feel like maybe it was just our generation of parents, but in particular, like, I just don't feel like she was very realistic, and so there was like this, it was almost like there were a few things I didn't feel like I could talk to my mom about, but sex was one of them. Like, I didn't feel like I could talk to her about that. And I don't agree with that. I would want my kids, granted, kids they're not gonna tell their parents everything, right? Your kids have a double life, just accept it. But I just wish it had been a more open environment, and I wish she had been more free to just take up that space as a woman, right? Like, I never looked at my mom and saw a sexual being, despite the fact that and even though like, there's evidence here, we didn't talk about that, and not in a weird way, because I don't want to know your business, but like, just the availability of being able to ask questions. But it was such a taboo topic.
I think that it never came up. It never came up. Like, it never came up. Even, oh my God, I'm about to tell my business.
You don't have to. You have time. We can edit it out.
We could edit it out, but my thought is, okay, like, kids was in the shit they wasn't supposed to be into. So even after my mama discovered that, like, I knew what porn was, and we still never had a conversation about sex. Hello? Yeah, they just missed the boat. Like, just missed the whole. Hello? And I understand it may be uncomfortable. But who's gonna, baby, don't let me learn from these people around me, because they don't know either. And so it wasn't until I was good and grown and finally lost my virginity that we even discussed it. And we only discussed it because I was crying. I told my daddy. Wow. How's that? Because my dad, as much as he also didn't talk about it, but he was like, if you ever need birth control, let me know.
And so that was the talk.
How the fuck would I know when I need birth control?
I said, hey, Dad, I need birth control. He said, all right. And then my mama called me and we talked about it. That's how that went. But I told my dad, because it was it just felt like a failure, you know, like almost like because I had engaged in this before I was married or, you know, whatever. And it was just like, I wish we could have had a space to talk about that.
Especially one like that is not riddled with shame. I don't know. My mom didn't like shame me ever, but we never talked about it because I thought I was going to be shamed.
Or it just felt shameful.
Yeah.
It was like just the feeling around it. I feel the same way about marriage, right? So when she was dying, when she was sick, because like when I got pregnant, it was like I'm having a baby on the wedlock. Yeah. Like she took me to see Joel Osteen at Comerica. Okay, baby, wow. She was praying over my life because baby, okay. And I will never forget before she died, my now ex-husband had proposed to me, right? And it was very clear to both of us because we had a conversation about it after that we had no business getting married, but it was such a important thing to her, and we both wanted to honor her in that way. And I remember the conversation we had about marriage before she died, and I'll never forget it. She was like, it's always, people will always look at you if you don't, if you have kids and you're not married, they'll always look at you funny. Your kids should have the same last name as their dad, right? All of these things. And now looking back on it, I recognize that like my mom didn't have her dad's last name. She was from a small island, right? And like that was a source of shame for her. You see what I'm saying? And it was so much of like her trauma. And I wish we could have this conversation, that she had just empowered me to be like, girl, you don't have to stay with him because y'all have if you want to, you can, and I will support you. But if you don't want to, you don't have to, and I will support you. And that didn't feel like an option. It was like, you're going to marry him, and I don't agree with that. And I don't want to create that environment for my children. In the same breath, I think it was in love, but I think it was more rooted. That wasn't about me. That was about her stuff. That wasn't about my stuff. And I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
I also don't agree with, I don't think, okay, I know I feel like I've been beating this with like a dead horse, but I don't know if my mama necessarily wanted to be a teacher. But she did because she had a kid. And she just stayed there. And I kind of hate that for her. I feel like she wanted to do other stuff. Do I know exactly what the other stuff is? No, because we never really got a chance to talk about it. But I think her being so supportive of me doing other stuff came from the fact that like she wanted to do other stuff. But she had a responsibility to make sure her life was stable for her kid. It's like, I get it. And maybe I don't disagree, right? Because as we have discussed plenty of times before, like instability causes stress. But I really wish she just could have did what she wanted to do. Or at least done it for longer. I feel like she was doing what she wanted to do until she got pregnant. She was like, fuck. Okay, baby, maybe I should. Yeah, I should get my shit together. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with the fact that that's what she did, but she was doing the best she could with what she had.
Doing the best she could with what she had.
Yeah.
And did what they knew to do at the time. And it also makes me curious about what conversations my mom had with her mom. Because my grandma was a very, like, coming back to the sex topic. It wasn't happening. Okay. Don't be fast. Don't be, right? Like it was. So I think my mom was even more gentle with me. Because at no point did she tell me I was being fast. Or it was, she didn't talk to me like that. Right. But we didn't talk about it. But it's also like such a reflection of just kind of like the generational experience. And I imagine that my mom also didn't like certain things, and so that impacted how she parented me, right? Yeah. But again, a conversation we can't have because Shorty died. That's crazy. Like, a girl, that's wild. Oh, I hate that for me.
Hate it.
I really
hate it because I really hate that for me. Questions that cannot be answered, unfortunately, because you want to be up there with Jesus now.
How dope would it be to be able to like ask your mom,
they need a
baby,
phone line.
why didn't you do the things you enjoy, baby? Why was sex so taboo? Because let me tell you something, the children,
they know
the
about
teenagers, some of them are doing it. Like, we should be able, you know, that you got to be a safe space for your kid, right?
Yeah.
I just wish, but I can't.
Okay, so what are you gonna do with the things that you disagree with? It's like, okay, are you just choosing to do the exact opposite now?
Ooh.
Or, because you're the only one that has kids here, so is the plan to do the exact opposite? Is the plan to like what they call it, chew the meat, spit out the bones, or something? Like, what now?
Conversations. So I ask my kids a lot of questions. I apologize to my kids. I apologize to my kids, which I feel like is a big deal. There's my entire childhood, I can think of one time, and it was my dad. He apologized to me. It's the only apology I ever got from my parents. But I asked them what they think. We have feedback sessions. So my children, like, I'd be like, hey, what do I need to do better? Which is how I learned that I used to be a yeller.
Yes.
Which, in fairness, so like something I don't agree with my children with, because my mama was Puerto Rican, right? So she just talked in a loud voice. Baby, this is just how I talk, right? But to my kids, it was a shock to their nervous system. It was a totally foreign concept to me, because that's how my mama talked to me. And I can honestly say I never thought she was being rough outside of the time she was tweaking, but like on a regular Tuesday. But I have had to learn that like a gentle tone is important, right? And it was because my son said like, yeah, you probably said that, but I can't hear you when you're talking to me like that. And I was like, what the hell you mean? So I started recording myself. I was like, oh shit, like
a little spicy.
But it's like welcoming feedback, right? Because I don't know. There's also no parenting manual. And so like letting my kids, because they're kids, and so I'm gonna make the final decision,
right?
But letting them have an input that I don't think I was able to have. Even though my parents, I won't say they didn't let me have an input, but it wasn't like an actual, they were seeking my feedback, right? So I think that that's something. When it comes to sex, I'm just going to talk to my children about it, and we're just like, I'm not going to wait for them to come to me. It's going to happen. It's going to happen early, like the conversation about it. And it's just going to be a open kind of door with that. When it comes to relationships and things like that, I will tell listen, get the prenup. Okay. Get the prenup and wait. There's no, like, I had no business getting married at 24, 25 years old. No, I mean, zero. In hindsight is always 2020. Yeah. None whatsoever. But it was such an important thing because I had a baby. Right. And I would just, if that ever happened to my kids, like, I will support you, you know, no matter what decision you make. Because I think the things that I emphasize with my kids is like your character. Right. Yeah. So like, you're honest. You're not, you don't cheat. You don't steal. You're not doing people wrong. And all the other stuff, it's like you don't have to make the right decision. You just make whatever decision and you make it right. Yeah. There's no telling whether, like, I can sit here now and be like, we shouldn't have gotten married. But had we not gotten married, who knows? The outcome might have been the same. Like, you can sit here and speculate all you want, right? So just being supportive to my little humans as they become bigger humans and try to figure this shit out.
Man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I got some time to figure that out because I don't have no kids.
Okay, but what are you doing different as far as yourself, right? So like there were things that you didn't necessarily like or agree with.
Yeah.
How do you think you're living your life differently for you?
Okay, boundaries, right? At least trying to, one, being better about like identifying what they are, and two, standing on them.
10 toes.
10 toes, not 1.5.
Okay.
Not giving 2 big toes.
Okay.
All 10. Flat-footed. That. Doing what I want to do for as long as it makes sense. Because I'm realizing that not everything you want to do makes sense. And that is maturity. That's just how I feel about it right now. Being a mature person is great, but also boo, right? It's not the most fun thing in the world. And then I don't know, the dating of it. Figuring it out. Because I literally have no idea what her dating life was like. I know of one boyfriend that she had in high school because she went to prom with him, so they're like pictures and shit. But I also know that he was like very rude to her and had like cut her with a screwdriver on some jealous shit.
Excuse me?
Yep. Cut her on her titty with a screwdriver.
Baby.
Crazy. And I don't know what happened to that man, but it do not matter. And then the next man I ever learned about or heard about was my father. And then after that, it's like, okay, well, like we never talked about it.
Yeah.
Like dating didn't come up much at all.
Yeah.
Oh, I disagree with her letting that nigga move in with us.
Oh.
Girl, are you fucking... Oh.
But also,
my
baby,
mama.
you
That's my
disagree
mama.
with you.
I
right?
disagree with
like,
me
don't
as well.
Be trying because, baby, hold on.
I disagree with me dating that man, but why? Like, at what?
She should have intervened on your behalf.
Hello.
She should have.
That's that boundary shit.
Yeah.
She probably thought she was doing such a great job at letting me be like a free grown woman.
Yeah.
Post college. No, ma'am.
Same though, right? Like when your mom doesn't say like my mom said, marry him. She didn't say like, he's not nice to you. Don't do that.
Like, what was they looking at? What was y'all looking at? So I have questions. But yeah, to wholly disagree with that. Like, if there would have been so many other conversations, it may not have even been just don't live with him at all. But like, until you get your own shit, that can't be a thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So if you ask me what I would do differently, is that I don't think I would tell my kids what to do or what not to do at a certain point, because you know, when you're kids, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't necessarily know that I would tell my kids what to do. Just empowering folks to say like, hey, you have choices, right? And I got you, right? And don't do no fuck shit while you're doing it, right?
Yeah.
So like, as long as you're not hurting nobody, because baby, if you wrong, right? And I feel like that's one thing my mama did well. When I had people fucked up, she was like, nah, baby, I cannot support this, okay? My mother always was very like, no, you're wrong. She never hesitated to tell me when I was wrong. Now, she also never hesitated to be like, no, they wrong. We outside. Let's go. We in the car. But she was she always held me accountable. And I feel like I want to do that for my kids while simultaneously allowing them to be like, to just reject the status quo. If that's not what you want to do, baby, you can make it work for you. You know who you are. You know what I'm saying? You know who God is. God can work with anything. You don't have to do, as long as you are being good to people. Man. And I you know, of the things I wish my mother would have empowered me with, it was that. It was the opportunity to say, I don't want to do that. Just because it's the right, you know, the next thing to do, right? Yeah.
According to whoever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I've been thinking lately about this. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this now. I don't know if I remember my mama telling me, I'm proud of you, directly to me. She says to everybody else, though. She said it to everybody.
She told people she was proud of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Everybody knew it. Not a
Did you know it?
alive. I heard it from the people that your mom is so proud of you.
Yeah.
But I really am struggling to remember if she said it to me.
To you.
Like directly.
Yeah.
Child, anyways. If she didn't, I disagree. If she did, my bad. I can't ask her though because she died.
That's such a permanent thing. And it hits me often, and I'm going to continue to say it as much as I can.
Because why the fuck?
My mother is dead, and that is permanent and set in stone and not changing. And so these conversations are, I don't know if you know what they do for me, but they're so helpful because they help me process things that, like, you know, again, both of us, I think, were in that phase where our relationships with our moms were changing. Yeah, we were going from daughters to kind of friends to I was a new mom. We were relating on a different level, those types of things. And then it just got cut short. And so I never got to tell her, hey, lady, I wish you would have told me not to marry that motherfucker.
Hello?
Like, bitch, run. Like, why wouldn't you tell me? You know what I'm saying?
You didn't hear that? You didn't know that? What was going on?
Or tell him, don't marry her. She's not ready. Like, you know what I'm saying? Tell somebody to do something.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to say that to her.
Nope.
So I'm glad I get to say it with you, to you, you know? Because that's also part of healing, is recognizing them people, that, again, they were not perfect. They didn't have no manual either.
Nope.
You know?
My mama ain't had no mama for a long time. At no point in my life. My grandma died 10 years before I was born. That is very crazy. I don't know how they did it, honestly. Well, I guess one day at a time.
Baby, because that's all you can do. And then just learn. Like, I often wonder if my mom would say, I'm sorry. I wonder what my mama would say to these things I disagree with. Some of them I think she'd be like, well, tough tit. Yeah, but she'd be like, girl, whatever. But some of them I think she would be open to be like, you know what? I could see that. I hope so.
I hope so, too.
Yeah.
It's a nice thought to have.
And it'd only be a thought because they're dead.
Cool.
That's the episode. We've come to the end of this one. Like, fuck.
Yeah. So, and this is probably something that's hard for people to deal with, because when we think about the fact that our mom is dead, we be trying so hard to honor their legacy. Yeah. Like, yes, they was the best. They was the best. But at the end of the day, they were human, and not everything they did was A-okay.
And that's beautiful. You can honor that too.
That was a very hard realization for me to come to, though.
They're real people.
That my mama did not do well, like, just coming up with more shit. Like, we not supposed to be ending it, but we ain't talking about money. Like, we're not talking about no assets or finances. You started a business. Okay, how do you make the business work? What type of stuff should I not be doing with my money? You know what I'm saying? Disagree. But also, can you really share knowledge that you don't have? Either way it goes.
You just said a word. We supposed to be ending it, but I have a thought, because all of the things that maybe my mom wanted me to do were because that was what was right for her and her generation and her time. It was just kind of like how things were done. Or what was, that's interesting. I've actually never considered that. I just always thought about me and myself and I and how it impacted me, but that's really interesting. That's deep. That's really deep.
Yeah.
Did she know better?
Did she? Why not?
I've never. They was real people.
They was real people.
Yeah. And honoring that and allowing them to kind of have that space to, you know, they made some mistakes. Or not mistakes, but made some decisions that, you know, everybody's not everybody's cup of tea. Okay.
It was a choice.
Yeah.
Damn. All right, yeah. So, yeah.
That's complicated. Oh, that's so complicated. Yeah.
Being a person is complicated.
Okay.
How are we surviving? By the grace of God. So, again, if there's anything that you are finally able to be like, you know what, I actually disagree with this, what was it? Share. We'll put all the things and all the ways that you can reach us, find us in the description, and we'll see you next one. Okay, love you, bye.